Part 1, Unit 1A, Vocabulary Hints. 1. Bomb. 2. Destroy. 3. Fortunately. 4. Injure. 5. Damage. 6. Customer. 7. Double-decker. 8. Sign. 9. Essence. We are more open. During World War II, London was attacked by German airplanes many times. They dropped many bombs on the city of London. The bombs destroyed buildings and killed many people. Tomorrow, it will be my turn to be killed, the citizens of London thought. One night, German airplanes attacked a new corner of London, and one of the bombs hit a department store. Fortunately, nobody was injured, but the store building was damaged. The next morning, the neighbors and customers saw what the bomb had done. The entrance of the store was blown off, and there was a hole in the wall as big as a double-decker. But people were more surprised when they saw the familiar big sign, "Open," standing at the gate, and more was added before the word open. Do you understand this humor? This story shows the essence of British humor. Questions. 1. Which city did German airplanes attack during World War II? 2. What did German airplanes drop on the city of London? 3. What hit the department store one night? 4. Who was injured by the bombing? 5. What was damaged by the bombing? 6. Was the store open the next morning? 7. What did the big sign say?
Unit 1B. Vocabulary Hints. 1. Cargo. 2. Leak. 3. Uninhabited. 4. Tool. 5. Goat. 6. Shelter. 7. Enormously. 8. Miss. 9. By chance. The True Story of Robinson Crusoe. Do you know the story of Robinson Crusoe, the world-famous English novel written in 1719? It was based on a real person. His name was Alexander Selkirk, a sailor on a cargo ship named Cinque Ports. While sailing, Alexander felt that the ship was not safe enough. It had a bad water leak. One day, the ship stopped at a small uninhabited island. Alexander asked his captain to repair the ship, but the captain refused to do so. So, Alexander chose to stay on the island rather than sail on the dangerous ship. The captain agreed and left him on the island, a lonely island in the Pacific Ocean, 670 kilometers from Chile. Alexander had only a few tools and the Bible. He caught wild goats for meat and ate wild vegetables. So food and shelter was not a serious problem for him. But he suffered enormously from loneliness. 4 years later, in 1709, an English ship came to the island by chance. Alexander was rescued by the ship and returned to his home in England. He found his life there too busy, and even missed the loneliness of the old uninhabited island. Questions. 1. Who was Robinson Crusoe? 2. What was Alexander Selkirk? 3. What was the name of his ship? 4. Why did Alexander think his ship was dangerous? 5. Why did Alexander choose to stay on the island? 6. Did anybody else live on the island? 7. What was Alexander's biggest problem on the island? 8. How long did he stay on the island? Unit 2A. What impressed Satomi the most in Canada? Satomi is a college student in Japan. In the summer vacation, she took part in a 1-month homestay program in Canada. She took classes in a college in Vancouver. She stayed with her host family in Vancouver. During her stay, she was very impressed with one thing. In Canada, all her family members sit together and eat dinner every evening. She asked her Japanese classmates on the same program, "Do your Canadian family eat dinner together?" Many of her Japanese classmates said yes. "I was very surprised," they said. So Satomi asked her host mother, "Why do your family always eat dinner together?" Her host mother looked a little surprised and said, "This is natural. We think our family is more important than our work." Unit 3. Vocabulary Hints. 1. That is. 2. Honorific. 3. Superior. 4. Surname. 5. Add. 6. Boss. 7. Private. Do's and don'ts when speaking a language. Every language has its own way of addressing people. For example, in Japanese, you must use sonkeigo, that is, honorific language, when you speak to your superiors. Also, you cannot call your superiors by their first name. You must call them by their surname, adding san after it. Now, I will give you a quiz. Imagine you are working for a company, and your boss is Ichiro Suzuki. What can you call him? Ichiro, Ichiro-san, Suzuki, or Suzuki-san? The correct answer is Suzuki-san. However, Ichiro-san can be okay if you two are friends and having a private conversation. How about in English? When you meet a person for the first time, it is safe to call the person by his or her surname, putting Mr. or Miss before it. For example, when you meet Linda Brown, you should call her Miss Brown. Then, very often the other person will say, "You can call me by my first name," or "Call me Linda." Then, you can call each other by your first names. Questions. 1. What does sonkeigo mean in English? 2. When is the honorific language used in Japanese? 3. Do people usually call their boss by his or her first name in Japan? 4. Imagine you are meeting a person named Mike Harvey for the first time. What will you call him? Mike, Harvey, or Mr. Harvey?
Unit 4A. Vocabulary Hints. 1. According to. 2. Native. 3. In addition. 4. Therefore. 5. Account for. 6. Ratio. 7. Non-native. 8. Exceed. 9. Total. 10. Billion. English speakers in the world. The total population of the world is about 7.3 billion people. How many of them speak English? According to the English Club, 2019, about 1.5 billion people speak English all over the world. Of these speakers, about 380 million are native English speakers, in countries such as the USA, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, etc. In addition, about 1.12 billion people use English as their second language for international communication. Therefore, native English speakers account for only 25% of the total English speakers. See Figure 1. In the near future, the ratio of non-native English speakers will increase steadily and exceed 80% of the total speakers. In your future life, you will talk with a lot of people in English, in your study, on your job, and in your social life. More than 75% of them will be non-native speakers, like you. Your success will partly depend on whether you can communicate well with those people. Questions. 1. How many people live in the whole world? 2. How many people speak English as their native language? 3. How many people speak English as a second or foreign language? 4. Is English spoken mainly as a native language in the world? 5. Is English spoken mainly as a second or foreign language in the world? 6. What kind of English speakers will be the major speech partners for Japanese people in the future?
Unit 4, B. Vocabulary hints. 1. Rural. 2. Cafeteria. 3. Casual. 4. Offend. 5. Clinic. 6. Interactive. 7. Take turns. 8. Lubricant. Ice-breaking and small talk. These days there are many foreigners in Japan, not only in big cities, but also in rural areas. Some are traveling and others are working. Therefore, you have a lot of chances to start talking with them on the street, in a cafeteria, or on the train. Have you ever talked with foreign people? I ask my students. Most of them say no. They say that they don't know how to start a conversation. Starting a conversation is easy in English. First, smile at the other person. Second, make small talk. Small talk is a casual conversation. This is a very safe way of starting a conversation, and nobody will be offended by it. I usually start like this. Hi, can I sit here?
Sure, go ahead.
Thanks. Do you speak English?
Yes, I do.
Do you come here often?
Yes, sometimes. I love the food.
Me too. I'm a student from Japan. Are you a tourist or do you work here?
I work here. I work at the clinic on the campus.
Really? By the way, I'm Honoka.
Hi, Honoka. I'm Mike.
Here's another hint for having a nice conversation. Make the conversation interactive, like playing tennis with your speech partner. Look at the conversation above. Both Honoka and Mike take turns speaking and listening to each other. That shows good manners in an English conversation. English-speaking people love to exchange small talk with new people. Small talk is a casual conversation on unimportant topics. Small talk is a good social lubricant. It helps people to relax with each other. Popular and safe topics for small talk are as follows. Weather. It's a beautiful day. It's freezing cold. Home country. Where are you from? Are you from America? Food. How do you like the food here? Do you like Japanese food? Fun. Holiday plans. Are you having a good time in Japan? Which places do you like in Japan? popular sports events.
Did you watch the football game last night?
Yeah, it was so exciting. Complimenting. That's a nice tie. I like your jacket. It looks good on you. Your bike is great. You speak Japanese well. Questions. 1. What is a good way to start talking with new people in a relaxed manner? 2. What topics do people usually choose for small talk? 3. How can we make our conversation? We make sure that each of us has equal time to speak and listen to each other, like playing tennis.
Unit 5A. Junya's part-time job.
Have you worked at a barbecue restaurant before, Junya?
No, I haven't. But I have eaten at your restaurant many times.
Really? I'm glad to hear that. We have run this restaurant for 10 years, since 2010.
I know. I always enjoy your food.
David, this is our new staff member, Junya.
Hi, Junya. Nice to meet you, David. Nice to meet you. You speak good English. Thank you. I have been studying English for 6.5 years. I have some English-speaking friends in Japan. Very well. Okay, let's start cooking. Have you washed your hands yet? Yes, I've already washed them very carefully. That's fine. Is anything wrong?
Yes, it seems I have lost my wallet somewhere. I have no money with me.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry. I cannot pay for the food now.
Okay. Could you tell the manager? She'll take care of things. Questions. 1. Has Junya got a job at Texas Barbecue House? 2. Who is the manager of the Texas Barbecue House? 3. How long has Texas Barbecue House been open? 4. Has Junya visited the barbecue house before? 5. Why can't the customer pay for the lunch?
Unit 5, B. This is the house that Jack built. This is the horse and the hound and the horn that belonged to the farmer sowing his corn, that kept the cock that crowed in the morn, that woke the priest all shaven and shorn, that married the man all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden all forlorn, that milked the cow with the crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that chased the rat, that ate the malt, that lay in the house that Jack built.
Unit 6, A. Unit 1, A. Example. Which city did German airplanes attack during World War II?
They attacked London.
1. What did German airplanes drop on the city of London?
They dropped many bombs.
2. What hit the department store one night?
A bomb hit the department store.
3. Who was injured by the bombing?
Fortunately, nobody was injured.
4. What was damaged by the bombing?
The department store was damaged.
5. Was the store open the next morning?
Yes, it was.
6. What did the big sign say?
It said, "More open." Unit 1, B. 1. Who was Robinson Crusoe?
He was the hero of a novel.
2. What was Alexander Selkirk?
He was a sailor.
3. What was the name of his ship?
It was Cinque Ports.
4. Why did Alexander think his ship was dangerous?
Because it had a bad water leak.
5. Why did Alexander choose to stay on the island?
Because he thought it was safer than his ship.
6. Did anybody else live on the island?
No, they didn't.
7. What was Alexander's biggest problem on the island?
It was loneliness.
8. How long did he stay on the island?
He stayed there for 4 years. Unit 3. 1. What does Songkego mean in English?
It means honorific language.
2. When is the honorific language used in Japanese?
It is used when we speak to our superiors.
3. Do people usually call their boss by his or her first name in Japan?
No, we don't.
4. Imagine you are meeting a person named Mike Harvey for the first time. What will you call him? Mike, Harvey, or Mr. Harvey?
I will call him Mr. Harvey. Unit 4. A. 1. How many people live in the whole world?
About 7.3 billion people live in the world.
2. How many people speak English as their native language?
About 380 million people do.
3. How many people speak English as a second or foreign language?
About 1.12 billion people do.
4. Is English spoken mainly as a native language in the world?
No, it isn't.
5. Is English spoken mainly as a second or a foreign language in the world?
Yes, it is.
6. What kind of English speakers will be the major speech partners for Japanese people in the future?
They will be non-native speakers of English from other countries. Unit 4, B. 1. What is a good way to start talking with new people in a relaxed manner?
It is to have small talk.
2. What topics do people usually choose for small talk?
They usually choose casual topics such as weather, food, and sports.
3. How can we make our conversation interactive?
We make sure that each of us has equal time to speak and listen to each other, like playing tennis. Unit 5. A. 1. Has Junya got a job at Texas Barbecue House?
Yes, he has.
2. Who is the manager of the Texas Barbecue House?
Barbara is.
3. How long has Texas Barbecue House been open?
It has been open for 10 years.
4. Why can't the customer pay for the lunch?
Because she has lost her wallet. Unit 6, B. Vocabulary hints. 1. Woodcutter. 2. Honest. 3. Axe. 4. Breeze. 5. Spring. 6. Splash. 7. Bubble. 8. Goddess. 9. Brilliantly. 10. Iron. 11. Humble. 12. Exactly. 13. Honesty. 14. Conclude. The woodcutter in 3 axes. 1. Once upon a time, there lived a woodcutter in a little village. He was a very honest man. One day, he was cutting trees in the forest with his big axe. The sun was shining brightly in the sky. A nice breeze was blowing through the trees. Birds were singing here and there. The woodcutter was singing happily as he worked. But suddenly, his hand slipped, and his axe flew into the air. It flew and fell into the spring nearby. Splash! "Oh my God! My axe! My axe! I cannot work without my axe! What shall I do?" The woodcutter shook his head and walked around the spring, but the spring was so deep that he could not see his axe. Then, suddenly, a beautiful woman came up from the bubbling water. She was wearing golden clothes, shining brightly. She was the goddess of the spring. She was holding an axe in her hands, a golden axe shining brilliantly in the sun.
"Woodcutter, is this your axe?"
asked the goddess. "No, it isn't. That axe is gold, but mine is iron," said the woodcutter.
"Oh, you humble man! You could buy 100 iron axes with this gold axe,"
she said. The goddess went back into the water. After a few minutes, the goddess came up from the water again. This time, she was holding a silver axe in her hands.
"Woodcutter, is this your axe?"
asked the goddess. "No, it isn't. That axe is silver, but mine is iron," said the woodcutter.
"Oh, what a humble man! You could buy 20 iron axes with this silver axe,"
she said, and went back into the water. 2. After a few minutes, the goddess came up from the water again. This time, she was holding an old iron axe in her hands.
"Woodcutter, is this your axe?"
asked the goddess. "Yes, it is. It's exactly my axe," said the woodcutter happily. The goddess smiled and gave him the iron axe. Then she went back into the spring and came back with the golden and silver axes in her hands.
"Woodcutter, you have made me very happy with your honesty. I will give you these axes as a present. Stay honest all through your life."
6 months have passed since then. The woodcutter is working in the forest as before. The sun is shining in the sky. Birds are singing happily in the trees. A cool and nice breeze is blowing through the trees. Nothing has changed. What about the golden and silver axes? How would you conclude this story? Questions. 1. When the woodcutter was working in the forest, something bad happened. What happened? 2. Was the woodcutter able to find his axe in the spring water? 3. When the goddess came out of the water for the first time, what did she have in her hands? 4. When the goddess came out of the water for the second time, what did she have in her hands? 5. When the goddess came out of the water for the third time, what did she have in her hands? 6. Why did the goddess give him the gold and silver axes too?
Unit 7. Vocabulary hints. 1. Charter. 2. Flood. 3. Passenger. 4. Elderly. 5. Traffic. 6. Paralyze. 7. Rose. rise. 8. Tightly. 9. Enormously. 10. Encourage. 11. SDF. 12. Cooperation. 13. Entitle. 14. Submerge. How people on the bus survived. On October 20th, 2004, a chartered bus was driving along the country road in Maizuru-shi, Kyoto-fu. On that day, western Japan was hit by a very big typhoon. A nearby river flooded, and the road was covered with water. There were 37 passengers on the bus. They were a group of elderly people from Hyogo-ken. Because of the flood, the traffic was paralyzed on the road. The water came into the bus, rose higher and higher, and reached the seats on the bus. The passengers decided to get out of the bus and climb onto the roof of the bus. 37 people and the bus driver got on the roof of the bus, in the darkness, in the strong wind, under the heavy rain. Finally, the water rose above the bus roof. People's feet and knees were covered with the floodwaters. They were shaking from the cold and fear. Many of them thought that they were going to die before long. Suddenly, somebody started singing a familiar song, Ue o muite aruko. Some people joined, and soon all the people were singing loudly. They held each other's shoulders and arms tightly, so that they would not be washed away by the water. They were enormously encouraged by the singing. Around 5 a.m., after about 10 hours, the bus was discovered by an SDF helicopter. One by one, the people were lifted up into the helicopter. No life was lost, thanks to the cooperation of the people on the bus. Later, this story was published in a book entitled Bus Suibotsu Jiko, Shiawase o Kureta 10 jikan. The Submerged Bus, The 10 Hours That Gave Us Happiness, from Asahi Shippan. Questions. 1. Who was traveling on the bus? 2. How did they feel when they stood on the roof of the bus? 3. How many hours did they stand on the roof of the bus? 4. What was the weather like while they stood on the bus roof? 5. What did they do to stay alive on the roof? 6. What encouraged the people on the bus roof? 7. Who discovered the submerged bus? 8. How were they saved? 9. How many people were killed in this bus accident? 10. How did you feel when you read this story?
Unit 8. Vocabulary hints. 1. Praise. 2. Lubricant. 3. Strengthen. 4. Excellent. 5. Respond. 6. Add. 7. Additional. Complimenting. How many times did you compliment other people during the last week? To compliment means to praise someone. To compliment others is very common and important in American culture. Complimenting is an important social lubricant there. It is an effective and safe way to start a friendly conversation with other people, even with strangers. Also, Americans frequently give compliments to their own family members to strengthen their love. My American friend says he gives at least one compliment a day to his family members. Here are some expressions to compliment other people. A. Physical appearance. You look very nice in that shirt. B. Personality. You have a wonderful sense of humor. C. Family member. Your children are so well-mannered. D. Abilities. This is my student Melinda. I am proud of her. E. Achievements. You did an excellent job. F. Belongings. I like your t-shirt. G. Meals. I love this meal. You're a very good cook. When someone compliments you, respond with "Thank you" and add a piece of additional information. Here's an example. I like your earrings.
Thanks. They were a present from my mother.
Questions. 1. How can we start a friendly conversation safely with a stranger in English? 2. Why do American people frequently give compliments to their family members? 3. How do people usually respond to a compliment given to them? 4. What do people usually give compliments about? 5. What do you think about the American culture of complimenting as a social lubricant?
Unit 9, Part 1. Vocabulary hints. 1. Single. 2. Purpose. 3. Interaction. 4. Sense of achievement. 5. Self-confidence. 6. Arrange. 7. Caution. 8. Romantic. 9. Disguise. 10. Identity. 11. Marital status. 12. Screen. 13. Function. What is the best way to learn English? My students often ask me, what is the best way to learn to speak English? My answer to this question is, there is not a single best way to learn English. There are several good ways, and you can choose from among them. Now, I will tell you some of the ways to learn English effectively and for free. Use English for a real purpose. Have you ever used English for a real purpose? For instance, to help a foreigner on the street, to exchange emails with a non-Japanese speaker, or to make some business interaction with a foreigner. Using English for a real purpose is exciting. You will get a sense of achievement when you have succeeded in communicating in English, and it will add to your self-confidence. You don't have any foreign friends to communicate with? That's no problem. Get one of your Japanese friends and arrange to talk with her or him in English at a certain time of the day. For example, arrange to talk with one of your friends on the phone from 8 to 8:10 p.m. Or exchange English emails once every day. If you want to find a foreign email friend, you might try online sites such as Interpals, Penpals. It is a website where you can find people all over the world looking for email friends. However, here is a word of caution. Some of the members of friend-finding sites are only looking for a romantic relationship, and some may be disguising their identity, such as their age, marital status, job, and even sex. So use its contact screening functions to prevent such contact. Also, do not give your online friends your personal information, such as your full name, mail address, phone number, school name, or home address. Part 2. Vocabulary hints. 1. Acquire. 2. Input. 3. Present. 4. Pleasure. 5. Material. 6. Narrate. 7. Instructive. 8. Aesop. 9. Comprehension. Read and listen to a lot of easy English. Another way to learn English effectively is to read and listen to a lot of easy English stories and essays. For example, Spotlight English Listening offers more than 100 listening stories for beginners. They are narrated rather slowly, and the stories are interesting and instructive. According to recent studies, language is best acquired through understanding plenty of meaningful language input. How easy should the reading materials be? They should be just a little above your present level. Then you can understand them easily without using a dictionary. You can enjoy understanding them smoothly and will find more and more pleasure in listening to or reading English. Now, where can you find those easy materials? If you go to a large bookstore, you will find some easy graded readers for English learners. Your college library might have a collection of such books. You can also find them on the Internet. Jaremaga is an online mail magazine in easy English which you can subscribe to for free. Aesop's collection online offers more than 200 easy stories to read. My English Pages contains about 200 reading stories of a little higher level. It also gives comprehension quizzes for each story, which helps you check your comprehension. Part 3. Vocabulary Hints. 1. Self-talk. 2. Pastime. 3. Memorable. 4. Nuclear. 5. Generation. 6. Achieve. 7. Draft. 8. Solution. 9. Switch. 10. Intelligently. 11. Spontaneously. Self-talk or keep a diary in English. What is your favorite pastime? What is the most memorable event in your life? What do you think about nuclear power generation? What do you want to achieve while you are in college? Can you answer these questions in English without preparing a draft beforehand? A lot of people cannot speak English, not because of their lack of English ability, but because of their lack of ideas to discuss. Then, how can we develop our own ideas to discuss in English? The solution is to build the habit of talking to yourself in English and keeping an English diary. Find some free time and switch your self-talk from Japanese to English. Put down your opinions about recent events in your notebook or smartphone in English. By doing these things, you will develop the habit of thinking in English, and this will help you speak intelligently and spontaneously in English. Questions. 1. What kind of input is more effective for learning a language? A small amount of very difficult input, or plenty of input that is a little above our present level? 2. Do all the people show their true identity when they appear on social networking services such as Twitter and Instagram? 3. Some learners get high scores in English language examinations but cannot express themselves well in English. Why does this happen? 4. What can we do to develop our own ideas to discuss in English? 5. How can we develop the habit of thinking in English?
Unit 10. Vocabulary Hints. 1. Extra. 2. Politeness. 3. Acceptable. 4. Imperative form. 5. Command. 6. Rude. 7. Imply. 8. Obligation. 9. permission. 10. Direct. 11. Essential. 12. Yield. 13. Eagerly. 14. Dare. 15. Assert. 16. Extraordinary. How to make a request in English. Imagine you are staying in a youth hostel in Melbourne, Australia, during the summer vacation. Now you need to go to the post office in a hurry. You remember that Jonathan, one of your fellow guests in the hostel, has a bike. So you want to ask Jonathan to lend his bike to you. How would you say it? A. Jonathan, please lend me your bike. B. Jonathan, will you lend me your bike? C. Jonathan, may I borrow your bike? These expressions, if translated into Japanese, will be almost the same. But each of them has different levels of politeness. The first phrase, please lend me your bike, is not considered very polite. It is only acceptable when you and Jonathan are good friends. Why is it? It is because lend me is the imperative form. You are commanding Jonathan to lend his bike. In the English culture, equal human relationships is considered very important. It is considered rude for one person to give a command to another person. Then how about the second expression? Will you lend me your bike? Will you implies that the other person has some duty to do that for you. Therefore, it can only be polite if Jonathan has some obligation to lend you his bike. What about the last one? May I borrow your bike? Yes, it sounds very polite. Its casual forms, can I and could I, also sound polite. Why are they considered polite? The reason is that they are asking for Jonathan's permission instead of commanding or directing him. May I means that the decision maker is Jonathan, not you. Respecting the other person's right to decide is one of the essentials of English politeness, and it is particularly important when making a request. If you yield the decision-making right to the other person, you are considered polite. Now, you might wonder why a man in love often asks his girlfriend, "Will you marry me?" in some romantic movies. That's a good question. In this case, the man wants to marry her so eagerly that he even dares to assert himself. Therefore, it is effective in such a situation. But of course, you should limit such a strong expression only to extraordinary occasions. To conclude, when making a request, I recommend to use may I, could I, or can I. Then Jonathan will consider you polite and gladly say, "Sure, go ahead." Questions. 1. Which is a more polite way of making a request in English? Asking for permission or giving a command? 2. What is one of the basic principles of English politeness? 3. Why do some men in love choose less polite expressions when they propose to their girlfriends? 4. Suppose you have got lost on the street in New York. You want to stop a passerby and ask the way to the subway station. What will you say to him or her?
Unit 11. Vocabulary hints. 1. Bank. 2. Isolate. 3. Accept. 4. Path. 5. Steep. 6. Cliff. 7. Canyon. 8. Geography. 9. Chisel. 10. Pickaxe. 11. Across. 12. Follower. 13. Instead of. The Tunnel of the Blue. Part 1. The story which I read yesterday was very interesting. It is a true story about a traveling priest whose name was Zenkai. It was in the middle of the Edo period, and Zenkai was traveling around Oita Prefecture on his religious tour. One day he heard about a small village which was named Hida. The village stood on the bank of the Yamakuni River. The village was isolated from the nearby towns. There was no road that connected the village with other villages and towns, except a narrow path along the steep cliff of the canyon. Every year, several villagers slipped off the cliff, fell into the canyon, and got killed. Part 2. Zenkai heard the story and felt very sorry for the villagers. He studied the geography of that area carefully. He found that the village and the nearest town were not far away. But there was a steep rocky mountain between the two, and it blocked the traffic. If we can dig a tunnel through the mountain, Zenkai thought, it will solve the problem. He talked about his plan to the villagers. Nobody listened to this stranger who suddenly appeared in their village. Zenkai talked to the villagers again and again, but they only laughed and said, "It's impossible." However, Zenkai did not give up. He started digging a hole into the mountain alone, with a chisel, a hammer, and a pickaxe. In his time, the only way to dig a tunnel was by hand. From morning till night, he kept digging all alone. 1 week passed, but the tunnel was only 50 centimeters deep. 1 month passed, but it was only 3 meters deep. The mountain that separated the village from the town was about 140 meters across. The villagers thought he was crazy. Nevertheless, Zenkai did not give up. Part 3. He ate the little food which some Buddhist followers gave him, slept in the tunnel, and went on digging. As several months passed, some villagers began to join him one by one. Slowly but steadily, the tunnel became longer and longer. Gradually, the villagers shared the same dream with Zenkai, to connect the village with the outer world with a tunnel. The villagers were united with a bright hope and worked together. It took 30 years for Zenkai and the villagers to complete the tunnel. Now the villagers were able to go to the town in 30 minutes through the tunnel instead of along the dangerous path that used to take them more than 3 hours. The tunnel, which was dug by Zenkai, still remains in Yabakei, Oita. Later, a novelist named Kikuchi Kan wrote a novel based on Zenkai's story. It is Onshu no Kanatani. Questions. 1. What was the name of the priest who was traveling in Kyushu? 2. Why did Zenkai take interest in the small village named Hida? 3. What separated Hida village from the nearest town? 4. How big was the mountain that separated the village from the town? 5. Why didn't the villagers listen to Zenkai's ideas at first? 6. How long did it take for Zenkai and the villagers to complete the tunnel?
Unit 12. A Tribute to the Dog by George G. Vest. Gentlemen of the jury, the best friend a man has in the world may turn against him and become his enemy. His son or daughter that he has reared with loving care may prove ungrateful. Those who are nearest and dearest to us, those whom we trust with our happiness and our good name, may become traitors to their faith. The money that a man has, he may lose. It flies away from him, perhaps when he needs it most. A man's reputation may be sacrificed in a moment of ill-considered action. The people who are prone to fall on their knees to do us honor when success is with us may be the first to throw the stone of malice when failure settles its cloud upon our heads. The one absolutely unselfish friend that a man can have in this selfish world, the one that never deserts him, the one that never proves ungrateful or treacherous, is his dog. A man's dog stands by him in prosperity and in poverty, in health and in sickness. He will sleep on the cold ground, where the wintry winds blow and the snow drives fiercely, if only he may be near his master's side. He will kiss the hand that has no food to offer. He will lick the wounds and sores that come in encounter with the roughness of the world. He guards the sleep of his pauper master as if he were a prince. When all other friends desert, he remains. When riches take wings and reputation falls to pieces, he is as constant in his love as the sun in its journey through the heavens. If fortune drives the master forth, an outcast in the world, friendless and homeless, the faithful dog asks no higher privilege than that of accompanying him, to guard him against danger, to fight against his enemies. And when the last scene of all comes, and death takes his master in its embrace, and his body is lain away in the cold ground, no matter if all other friends pursue their way, there by the graveside will the noble dog be found, his head between his paws, his eyes sad, but open in alert watchfulness, faithful and true, even in death.
Unit 13. Example. Before you go on a trip, you should buy travel insurance. 1. Insurance will help you when you get medical treatment in a foreign country. 2. Even if some stranger offers you a free ride, you should not accept such an offer. 3. You should not accept such an offer because you can be a victim of a crime. 4. Though service in Italian restaurants, trains, and offices may be slower than in Japan, people are not irritated with it. Part 1 and 2. Vocabulary hints. 1. Appear. 2. Soak. 3. Reservation. 4. Serve. 5. Beverage. 6. Tip. 7. Bellboy. 8. Expect. 9. Luggage. 10. Complain. 11. Uncivilized. 12. Customer. 13. Clerk. 14. Token. Traveling tips in Japan and Italy. Part 1. Although the hotels in Japan and Italy may appear similar, there are several differences between them. Most hotels in Japan have a bathtub in the guest room, so you can take a bath freely whenever you like. Most hotels in Italy, on the other hand, have only a shower with no bathtub, except in high-class hotels. Therefore, if you really want to soak yourself in the bath in Italy, check if your hotel has a bathtub before making a reservation. Most Italian hotels don't serve dinner. They only serve free breakfast. Some hotels serve very good food and a variety of beverages for breakfast, but others only serve bread and coffee. When you choose a hotel, check the menu of the breakfast on their webpage. Part 2. In Japanese hotels and restaurants, people do not have a custom of tipping the service staff. Even if the bellboy carries your suitcases from the entrance to your room, you don't have to give him a tip. But in Italian hotels, you are expected to give him a tip. For example, a few euros after he has carried your luggage for you. The bellboy will not complain even if you don't give him any tip, but you will be considered an ill-mannered, uncivilized customer. When you ask the hotel clerks for some extra service, such as making an appointment at the doctor's office for you, you are also expected to give them a tip as a token of appreciation. Part 3 and 4. Vocabulary hints. 1. Neat. 2. Bar. 3. Final. 4. Attitude. 5. Lost article. 6. Deliver. 7. Precious. 8. Belonging. Part 3. When you want to go to the public toilet in Japan, it is easy to find one. You will find neat and clean free toilets in stations, banks, convenience stores, pachinko halls, etc. In Italy, on the other hand, it is not easy to find public toilets quickly. There are not many convenience stores in Italy. Small stations do not have toilets. Even in big stations, it is not easy to find signs for toilets because the signs are small and different from Japan's. When you really need to go to the toilet as soon as possible, I recommend going into a bar. There are bars on almost every corner of towns in Italy. Go to the bar counter and ask for a glass of soda or a cup of coffee. Then ask the bartenders, "Posso usare il bagno per favore?" Can I use the toilet? They will be happy to let you use their toilet. Part 4. A final difference between the two countries is the attitude towards lost articles in public places, such as on transportation and in the street. In Japan, even if you carelessly leave your camera or wallet behind in a public place, in most cases, some kind person will deliver it to the service counter. This does not always happen in many other countries. Do not carelessly put your precious belongings on a bench or a seat in a public place. Look around when you are leaving your seat. Questions. 1. Do most guest rooms in Italy have bathtubs? 2. What do we need to check when we choose a hotel in Italy? 3. What will happen if a guest does not give a tip to the bellboy in Italy? 4. Is it easy to find a public toilet in a town in Italy? 5. Why is it sometimes difficult to find a toilet in big stations in Italy? 6. What does the author recommend doing when we need to use the toilet in a hurry in Italy?
Part 2. Unit 1. A. Communication. Talking about your school life. Examples. 1. I am a student at Junya College. 2. I major in biology at college. 3. My college is in the suburbs of Nagoya-shi. 4. I commute to school by train and bus. 5. It takes about 70 minutes. 6. I enjoy making new friends at college. 7. I like my psychology classes very much. 8. My dream is to become a clinical therapist. 9. My favorite pastime is singing songs in karaoke.
Unit 1. B. Communication. Calling card exchange. Example. Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Mika. My major is home economics. My color is pink because I'm always cheerful. My animal is squirrel because I move around quickly. I am interested in soccer. I like Jubilo Iwata.
Unit 2. A. Communication. Interviewing. Example. Excuse me, do you want to live in a foreign country in the future?
No, I don't.
I see. Thank you. What is your question?
Do you like cats a lot?
Yes, I love cats.
Thank you. Nice talking with you.
Nice talking with you too. The list of questions. 1. I want to live in a foreign country in the future. 2. I love cats. 3. I like studying English. 4. I usually get up earlier than 6 o'clock. 5. I like cooking. 6. I like fishing. 7. I can catch a grasshopper in my hand. 8. I can swim more than 1,000 meters. 9. I play some musical instrument, such as the piano, guitar, and clarinet. 10. I have been to Disneyland more than 5 times. 11. I have climbed Mount Fuji. 12. I like jogging. 13. I believe in the existence of UFOs. 14. I like my school very much. 15. I have a part-time job. 16. I don't like watching TV. 17. I want to live longer than 90 years. 18. I sleep more than 8 hours a day. 19. I can speak to girls easily. 20. I can speak to boys easily. 21. I keep a diary. 22. I go to the movies more than twice a month. 23. I am afraid of dogs. 24. I speak 3 or more languages. 25. I cook my own lunch. 26. I remember my father's birthday. 27. I have been to several foreign countries. 28. I soon get carsick. 29. I dance Yosokoi dance. 30. I have picked up a large amount of money on the street. 31. I am good at singing karaoke.
Unit 2. B. Communication. Imagining your future. Examples. A. What will you do after finishing college?
I will get a job. I will go to graduate school. I will work abroad on working holiday. I will take over my family job.
B. Where will you live?
I will live in my hometown. I will live in a big city. I will live in the countryside. I will live in a foreign country.
C. When will you get married?
I will get married at the age of 25. I will get married after I am 30 years old. I will never get married.
D. How many children will you have?
I will have children.
What will you be doing to refresh yourself on holidays?
I will be practicing yoga. Unit 3. Communication. How unique are you? Every one of you is a unique person. Your uniqueness is very precious. When you go abroad, people will want to know how unique you are. What unique things can you do? Think and answer this question. Give 3 points that are unique to you. Very small things are quite okay. Sample conversation. Hi, Yuka. How unique are you?
I can snap my fingers.
Really? Can you show me? That's wonderful.
How unique are you, Ryo?
I can turn a pencil on my fingers.
Really? Can you show me?
Sure, like this.
Wow, that's great.
Useful words. Cook Mexican food. Make people laugh. Move my ears. Make funny faces. Mimic Mikawa Kenichi. Dance Hawaiian. Sing rap music. Speak Chinese. Play tricks. Juggle. Draw a cartoon. Play the clarinet. Speak Portuguese. Swim in 4 styles.
Unit 4. A. Communication. Let's be original and unique. Japanese society values harmony more than uniqueness. In Japan, you are safe as long as you think and act like other people. However, this is not always true in many other countries. People value your own uniqueness and originality. They are not very interested in mere imitators without individuality. Therefore, you should discover and treasure your own originality and uniqueness. Example:
What makes you unique?
I am a good cook. I cook Japanese, Chinese, Korean, and Italian food.
Really? That's amazing.
Thank you. What makes you unique?
I am good at taking care of animals. I like cats, dogs, rabbits, hamsters, and even reptiles.
That's great. Do you want to be a zookeeper?
Yes, that is my dream. How about you? What makes you unique? I write and sing my own songs. I have more than a dozen original songs.
Wow.
Wow, you are really original.
We want to hear your songs.
Unit 5, A. Communication. Have you ever... Example. Excuse me. Have you ever seen a famous person?
Yes, I saw the sumo grand champion Hakuho on the Shinkansen train last year.
Oh, that's exciting. Now, what's your question?
Have you ever written a love letter?
No, I haven't. But I have received some love letters.
Really? Good for you. Nice talking with you.
It was really nice talking with you. Unit 5, B. Communication. My favorite place. All people have their favorite places somewhere. Some people love tourist places such as Kyoto and Nara. Some love scenic places like Kamikochi and Mount Aso. Others like fun places such as Disneyland and Nagashima Amusement Park. Still others like places which have special meaning for them. Follow the example below and talk about your favorite places in Japan, other than your own home. Example:
What is your favorite place in Japan?
It is Sugaike Highland Ski Resort in Nagano Prefecture.
Why do you like the place?
Because it has excellent ski slopes. It also has a nice village with fancy hotels and restaurants. How about you? What is your favorite place in Japan?
My favorite place is the seashore near my hometown in Toyohashi. It's not at all famous, and usually there are no people, but you can see the wide Pacific Ocean and feel a pleasant sea breeze.
I see. I want to go to the beach too.
Unit 6, B, Communication, Plans for the Summer Vacation. Summer vacation is coming. Some of you may be going back to your hometown. Some of you may be planning to go on a sightseeing trip. And some of you may have a part-time job. Some of you may just stay home and relax. Let's have a conversation about the summer vacation. Example:
Do you have any plans for the summer vacation?
I'm planning to go back to my hometown in Matsue.
Oh, really? What are you planning to do there?
I'm planning to meet my family. Also, I'm planning to meet my old friends from high school.
That will be exciting.
Yes, thank you. How about you?
I haven't made any plans yet, but I want to go somewhere on my bike.
That's a great idea. You like cycling?
I love cycling. I'm a member of the cycling club.
Great. Have a good time.
Thank you. You too. Unit 7. Communication. Famous festivals. Where and when. Example: Okay, give us a hint.
This festival is very unique.
Where is it held?
It is held in Spain.
When is it held?
In late August.
Is it bullfighting?
No, it's not. But you're partly right. People fight with each other in this festival.
How do they fight? Do they punch or kick?
No, they don't. They throw something.
I've heard about it. It's the tomato throwing festival.
You're right. Good job.
1. La Tomatina. Around 20,000 people throw overripe tomatoes at each other on the streets of a small town. More than 100 tons of tomatoes are thrown in this food fight. Anyone can participate in the tomato throwing if they win a ticket in the lottery. Buñol, Valencia, Spain. 4 days in late August. 2. International Hot Air Balloon Festival. Hundreds of hot air balloons lift off one after another and sail through the sky. Visitors can get on one of the balloons if they wish. Albuquerque, New Mexico, USA. The first week in October. 3. Inti Raymi. A big theatrical performance of Inca's religious celebration of the sun god. Many of the leading actors and actresses in South America perform in traditional costumes around the historical remains of the Inca Empire. Cusco, Peru, on the day of the winter solstice, late in June. 4. Carnival of Rio de Janeiro. Over 20 samba schools, i.e. groups, perform dancing and samba music with floats and colorful costumes. Each samba school has about 4,000 dancers. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. 4 days from the end of February to early March. 5. Sapporo Snow Festival. Over 200 snow sculptures, some measuring more than 25 meters wide and 15 meters high, are exhibited here and there in the 1.5 kilometers long Odori Park. There are concerts, events, and a variety of food stalls around the park, too. Sapporo, Hokkaido. Early February for 12 days. 6. Oi Festival. Over 500 people are dressed in the aristocratic style of the Heian period and walk down the main street. There are men on horseback, giant bouquets of flowers, decorated ox-drawn carts, and a large procession of women in kimono. Kyoto City, Kyoto-fu, May 15th. 7. Aomori Nebuta Festival. Nebutas are massive lantern floats 5 meters high, 9 meters wide, and 7 meters deep. Each nebuta represents well-known heroes or heroines based on kabuki or mythical stories. Each nebuta is accompanied by 500 to 2,000 haneto, that is, dancers. The festival attracts around 3 million visitors from Japan and abroad. Aomori City, Aomori-ken, August the 2nd to the 7th. 8. Naked Festival. A 1,200-year-old ritual to dispel evil spirits and diseases and welcome in the good fortune. Thousands of naked men, only wearing white cotton loincloths, struggle to touch the lucky man as he makes his way to the inner shrine. Konomiya, Inazawa, Aichi. Early February. Unit 8. Communication. What I do for that purpose. What do you do for the following purposes? First, fill in your own information. Next, walk around the classroom, find a partner, and exchange your answers.
Unit 9. The right person for the right job. 1. Do you like working indoors? Yes. 2. Do you like working outdoors? Yes. 3. Do you like working alone? Yes. 4. Do you like working in a team? Yes. 5. Do you like meeting many people? Yes. 6. Do you like working with your hands? Yes. 7. Do you like working at a desk? Yes. 8. Do you like reading and writing? Yes. 9. Do you enjoy taking care of animals? Yes. 10. Do you enjoy doing judo or kendo? Yes. 11. Do you enjoy working on machines? Yes. 12. Are you interested in helping people? Yes. 13. Are you good at making people relax? Yes. 14. Do you mind facing a dangerous situation? No. 15. Do you mind traveling a lot? No. 16. Do you mind getting dirty or muddy? No. 17. Free question. Example.
I like working outdoors. I like working on machines, and I don't mind getting dirty or muddy. Therefore, I think I would be a good car mechanic. Do you agree?
I do. I'm not sure. No, I don't.
I see. How about you?
I am good at making people relax. I like meeting many people. And I enjoy taking care of people. So I think I would be a good tour guide. Do you agree?
I do. I'm not sure. No, I don't. Unit 10. Communication. Do you believe this? Example.
People say that men are usually brave. What do you think about it?
I don't think so. For example, I am a man, but I'm not brave.
So, you don't think that men are usually brave?
That's right. People say that women are good at cooking. What do you think about it?
I think so. Most of my women friends can cook, but most of my men friends don't cook.
I see. Thank you. What do you think about these common sayings? 1. Men are usually brave. 2. Men are usually strong-minded. 3. Men are usually good at math and science. 4. Men are usually good with mechanics. 5. Men usually enjoy martial arts. 6. Men usually like going out better than staying home. 7. When a couple eats in a restaurant, the man should pay for all the food. 8. Women are usually good at cooking. 9. Women are usually tidy. 10. Women are usually tender-hearted. 11. Women are usually thrifty. 12. Women are usually talkative. 13. Women are usually good at housework.
Unit 11. Communication. I like those people who... What types of people do you like? Have you ever asked this question to yourself? We all have 3 types of people around us. Those people who we do not like, those who are all right to us, and those who we like and treasure. Too often, we care so much about the first category of people and do not care enough for the third category of people. In this activity, you have a chance to ask yourself about your favorite types of people. Follow the example below and talk with your partners. Example.
What types of people do you like, Lisa?
I like those people who are considerate to other people.
I see.
What types of people do you like, Ken?
I like those people who keep their promises.
I like that type of people too.
Unit 12. Communication. Which foreign country do you want to visit? Which foreign country do you want to visit in the future? What do you want to do there? Follow the example below and talk with your partner. Example. Which foreign country do you want to visit in the future?
I want to visit Cambodia.
Really? What do you want to do there?
I want to visit Angkor Wat, the famous ruins of temples. I want to paint sketches of the temples.
Sounds fantastic.
It really is. Which foreign country do you want to visit in the future, Ken?
I want to visit Brazil.
What do you want to do there?
I'm really interested in the Amazon River. I like wild plants and animals. I want to walk in the tropical rainforest along the Amazon.
Sounds exciting. Unit 13. Communication. What do you do in such occasions? Examples. A. What do you usually do when you are very happy?
When I am very happy, I jump and shout.
B. What do you usually do when you are lonely?
When I am lonely, I meet a friend and talk.
C. What do you usually do when you are tired?
When I am tired, I drink a cup of tea.
D. What do you usually do when you are bored?
When I am bored, I go downtown and go window shopping.
E. What do you usually do when you are successful?
When I am successful, I say thank you to God.
F. What do you usually do when you cannot sleep at night?
When I cannot sleep at night, I drink a cup of warm milk. Unit 15. Communication. Giving advice.
Example 1. Dear Sir or Madame, although I am 21 years old, I have never gone out with a man. My friends say, don't worry, but it is quite a serious problem for me. All my female friends have gone out with guys, so they often talk about their love stories. Whenever such a conversation starts, naturally I cannot join it. I want a boyfriend, but I do not have anyone I like among my acquaintances. Some have asked me out, but I have always refused. I may have too high an ideal for guys, but I do not want to compromise. What should I do? Loving Rabbit.
Example 2. I belong to a club. When I joined it, I enjoyed the group activities. But now I am not very happy when I think about the club because I worry about my relationships. I am shy, so I am poor at speaking. I try to speak, but I don't succeed. The more I think that I have to say something, the more tensed up I am, and I can't think of what to say. I want to talk naturally and enjoy the club. What should I do? Please tell me. Boss.
Example 3. A friend of mine has a problem with her part-time job. She works at a bookstore. She receives 950 yen for an hour. That is a very low wage. She thinks that she can get a better job. I think so too. But it is difficult for her to quit working at the store because her fellow workers are kind to her and she likes them very much. But I hope that she can solve her problem. How can I give advice to her about it? Sylvia.
Example 4. Lately, I think I have to study harder, but I often yield to temptations and watch interesting TV programs and net surf. As a result, I just continue watching TV and doing surfing. I stay up late almost every day and go to bed at 3 or 4. I have fallen into a bad habit of being lazy. I want to get over my bad habit and study harder, but I can't easily concentrate on studying. What should I do? James.